When you need mealtime inspiration, it's worth shopping Baker's, where you'll find over 30,000 mouth-watering choices that excite your inner foodie. And no matter what tasty choice you make, you'll enjoy our everyday low prices, plus extra ways to save, like digital coupons worth over $600 each week. You can also save up to $1 off per gallon at the pump with fuel points. More savings and more inspiring flavors make shopping Baker's worth it every time. Baker's, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
A common sense recap of the day's biggest stories. It's John Catsimatidis and Rita Cosby. Katz and Cosby on 77 WABC.
Who do we have on now, Rita?
We have the great Congressman Michael Waltz from Florida, former Green Beret. Congressman, we're talking, of course, about the debate and one of the big issues. As President Trump is arriving right now in Atlanta, preparing for the debate, which we're going to hear here on WABC Radio in a matter of hours. Congressman, the border and national security, international security, that's going to be a huge issue. I couldn't believe it. Mayorkas yesterday saying, security is a priority for the Biden administration. And, we essentially take no responsibility. That was a stunning moment. Of course, we're going to be watching tonight to see that, too, as well.
Yeah, it was pretty incredible and frankly disgusting to see Mayorkas shrug his shoulders on the situation of the border when we have an ISIS smuggling network, facilitation network out of Central Asia, Tajikistan, that's pumped more than literally almost 500 people now across our border that we know of. That we've encountered. That's not counting the gotaways, where we have no idea. 8 of those were actively plotting and planning for an attack. Fortunately, they were stopped and arrested in multiple cities. But there's another 50 guys that we just don't know. We don't know where they are. We don't know. They could be number 3 in ISIS or a low-level fighter or just a migrant that they helped smuggle across. But that's over 50 individuals that we know of that are somewhere in the United States right now as we speak. And what does Mayorkas do? He tries to parse words and say, well, they're not necessarily terrorists, so that's inaccurate reporting, what they said to the Fox News reporter. And, this is why we impeached the guy, and he's got to go.
Congressman, where are the 30,000, the Chinese military age?
That's right. Yeah, from just a few hundred a few years ago that we knew of, now over 30,000. And I could tell you as someone on the Intelligence Committee, Foreign Affairs, and Armed Services Committee, that many people do not leave that communist dictatorship without the government's blessing. At the same time, we're having gate crashers in our military bases. We're having a huge uptick in spying. You have the FBI director saying they're opening a new espionage case against China every 12 hours, literally every day. And again, a shoulder shrug from DHS. And you've got Chris Wray, the FBI director, telling our committees that another attack is just a matter of time. He's never seen so many alarm bells ringing at the same time.
You know what I was astounded about, Congressman, when Mayorkas was talking, you used the word sort of nonchalant. I agree. It was so chilling to me to see. It was like, next question. Like he was angry at the question as opposed to the substance of the question. And there were a lot of reporters asking him these questions, also asking about some of these horrible migrant crimes that have taken place. Today is the funeral, sadly, for the 12-year-old girl in Houston who was allegedly brutally killed by these 2 illegal migrants from Venezuela. And yet the White House doesn't even seem to want to talk about it. There were a whole bunch of media like following a number of members of Congress down the halls the other day, Democratic members of Congress. They said, we don't know anything about it. They were asking about all these recent cases. They're on the front page of every newspaper in the country, and they're trying to act like it doesn't happen.
My heart breaks for that family as the father of a daughter. I just can't imagine. I hope President Trump just stands on the stage tonight and challenges Biden to say their names. Not only their names, this 12-year-old girl, the 13-year-old in New York, Laken Riley, the Maryland mother of 5. I mean, we can all go down the list.
Right, Rachel Moran, right.
Yeah, and then on top of that, you'll remember at the State of the Union, the Afghanistan Abigate Gold Star family, Steve Nakui, just in outrage, yelling out that Biden in 3 years has never said the word Afghanistan, much less the 13 Gold Star members. So Biden ran on being the compassionate one and being the competent one. We've seen over and over again how incompetent this administration is, but I think this just proves how cold-hearted, frankly, they are, from Mayorkas to Biden himself. I mean, it is death and destruction all over the world, right here in our inner cities, with crime spiking, migrant, literally rape and murder of American citizens, and it's just this kind of technocratic, bureaucratic shoulder shrug. I've never seen anything like it. And so I really hope that comes out tonight, because we see it on Capitol Hill week in and week out from his minions.
Yeah, just like fentanyl, because the president never discusses fentanyl. And as we've talked about here on the show, I mean, 100,000 Americans killed every year from fentanyl, because if you start bringing attention to fentanyl, how do they get it? It comes across the border.
Right. That's right. Well, that's right. And just one more reason I've introduced legislation to go on offense against the cartels, to use military resources. We know how to take down networks. You change the name from Sinaloa or Jalisco to ISIS and Al-Qaeda, it wouldn't even be a debate. We would be taking these cartels down through cyber, through space, through, I don't care if there's a drone missile going through their window. Anybody else was poisoning 100,000 Americans a year, we wouldn't just be sitting back and taking it, much less the President of the United States, Commander-in-Chief, not even mentioning it. So I think all of that's going to come out tonight loud and clear.
Well, thank you, Congressman, for keep your eyes open, and we have to protect our country.
Yes, sir.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer, he hears things differently. To the untrained ear, everything on his shop floor might sound fine, but he can hear gears grinding or a belt slipping. So he steps in to fix the problem at hand before it gets out of hand. And he knows Grainger's got the right product he needs to get the job done, which is music to his ears. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.